So I'll briefly introduce the people on the panel. I'm Neil McLeave from 7 League. If I was my business partner, Richard, I would be saying we are Europe's leading sports digital media consultancy, but I'm a bit more modest, so I would say we're one of those, so yeah. We have Russell Stopford, who is digital director at FC Barcelona, and Javier Sobrino, who is in charge of innovation and strategy at the club. We're going to start with a brief video to introduce the concept of the Barcelona Innovation Hub.
We know what passion is. We are experts in arousing emotions. It's time to share it all, to open it to everyone, to transform the world through sports excellence. It's time for Barça Innovation Hub, an ecosystem to boost knowledge and innovation, generating relevant impact in the sports industry and others related. Working closely with key partners, attracting the best international talent and promoting an open and collaborative culture. From Barcelona to the world. Working in 5 key knowledge areas: medical services and nutrition, sports performance, team sports, technology, social sciences, following our 4 steps of process knowledge. This is not just a desire. This is how we are already working. Targeting key challenges and leveraging key partners to develop cutting-edge innovation. And this is just the beginning. We are creating the future of the sports industry and beyond. We are more than a club. Do you want to be part of it?
So just one other brief thing to say on housekeeping. There's another session which starts immediately after this. So when we finish, don't get up. I'll hand over straight to Hayley McQueen, who will be talking about building brands in sports. So please stay where you are at the end of this. So everybody knows about Barcelona and their prowess as one of the world's greatest football clubs. Why is Barcelona suddenly starting to talk about science, sports, innovation? Javier?
Thank you, Neil. That's definitely the question. Once the time we launched Barça Innovation Hub was nearly a year ago, and our president, Mr. Josep Maria Bartomeu, launched it in the Mobile World Congress. So that was clearly setting up the intention that we start to want to deal with innovation, research, and finally knowledge. In November 15, we presented, that was the time that I was in charge of developing the strategic plan of the club. And we developed, as one of the key strategic projects of the whole club, create a knowledge platform. We are a club. We are not only a football club, we are more than a club. We are a multi-sport club. We run 5 professional sports. And we realized by that time that the level of research and the level of projects that were outside of the daily activity in the club was huge. One of the data that impressed me the most when I joined the club is that by that time, more than 30 people in the club, staff of the club, were developing their PhDs in theses that were strictly related to sport. So long story short, what we have done is that what we are trying to do is to structure all these projects within one single platform, acting as a huge lab, because we consider ourselves a huge lab. Probably we are one of the biggest sports labs in the world because we have the 5 professional sports plus 11 amateur sports, from grassroots, as you know very well with La Masia, to the top athletes, to the top teams. Structure all of that and open for research and innovation.
Okay. So what was the genesis of the idea? Who had the idea and what were they trying to achieve?
It was in that development of the strategic plan. And once we realized all the knowledge that was already in the club, incorporated in the club, we decided to go for it. But by that time, we also realized we need third parties. We need external stakeholders. So Barca Innovation Hub pretends to be on one hand a lab in 5 areas. It was mentioned in the video, and perhaps we can build on that afterwards. But also has to do with building the ecosystem. And the ecosystem is trying to collaborate with, and saying this from the Barca perspective, it's very innovative as well, with companies, with startups, with VCs, with research centers, with universities with which we are working. We are dealing and we are collaborating right now with universities in Barcelona, universities in the US, universities in China like Beijing University. So what we are trying to do is to be in the middle of a huge ecosystem that we share knowledge, but we also incorporate knowledge in order to innovate.
Okay. So bringing Russell in momentarily. So Russell, your role is primarily fan engagement and delivering commercial revenue. How does this help you?
Well, I think it gives us a framework sort of that we can talk to third-party companies and give them a model of engaging with the club in innovative products. I mean, most of what we do in the digital department is innovation, pretty much. I'd say 75% of my day-to-day is about trying to create new products, new types of content. So in the club, I joined the club just over a year ago, and one of the things that we wanted to change was our approach to product, our approach to content, our approach to data. And I think most of that is expertise which so some of the expertise exists within the club, but a lot of the expertise in those areas exists in leading third parties. So in the way that we partner with big tech companies like Facebook, with Google, the stuff that we do, the innovation that we do with Instagram, with Snapchat, with Tencent, with Rakuten, a lot of that is around trying to think about how those new products are going to give new ways of engaging fans in the future. So yeah, I think the way that it helps us is it gives us a sort of this method of bringing companies into the club innovation in a way which is like a partnership.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So looking at the venture, where does it sit in the scale of being philanthropy and commercial?
That's a very round point for us as well, because we are a members club, but definitely we have 3 key goals with this, with the Barca Innovation Hub project. The first one and key one is to incorporate the best projects, the best knowledge, the best innovation, as Russell was mentioning. We are fully aware that there are a lot of companies, third parties, that we can learn with them. We can co-develop products. So first key goal is to have the best in different fields. And obviously everything related to sport, at least final goal will be that our performance is the best, that we want to improve our athletes' performance, we want to improve our management in the club. So that's definitely the first goal. It's not revenue driven, of course, but if we are able to bring best technology, best projects, best knowledge, we will be satisfied. Of course, the second one is brand exposure, and start to link in with the club with key stakeholders outside purely the sports sectors for us is critical. And definitely there is another point here, which is nowadays our relationship with our sponsors is changing, because the type of debate we have with them is completely different. We are involved in different projects right now with, for instance, with Rakuten. And this is not just a pure sponsorship or a regular sponsorship. We co-develop the brands together. We are able to improve the brand's exposure at the same time. But definitely the third goal is revenue, is generating revenue. Everyone is aware of the current situation in the football industry. We have suffered this summer that situation, and we have to start thinking about, out of the box, what are different ways of generating revenue for the club. And obviously, partnering with companies, co-developing products, sharing the revenue of those products, or even taking or bringing investors to invest in those companies, definitely for us will be a future revenue stream as well.
Okay, yeah. So Russell, so as a fan of a club, why should they care? What sort of benefit to them?
Well, I think the fans, hopefully with what we're doing in terms of our content innovation, it brings them deeper into the club. It gives them a closer connection to the club. And I think one of the things that we want to do with our content and our digital products is make that connection wherever the fan is in the world. So it gives us this ability to talk to our audience in far-flung countries and bring them more deeply into the club. And I think, as going back to the point that you made about revenue and focus in terms of digital sits in the revenue division at Barcelona, which is a very good place for it, because I think what we believe is that the future of the way that sponsorship arrangements are working is largely around us being able to offer a better digital experience to the fan. So I think the fans get the idea that, and I think they respond very well to branded content through digital channels. And so I think what we're able to do is just give them a richer experience, and that's our ambition. It's not something that we're going to switch on right now. It's work that we have to develop, and it's part of our long-term roadmap to bring the best experience to our fans. So our digital strategy is basically putting fans first, winning in digital, and that's the essence of it. It's everything that we do. All of our innovation is fan-centered, so it's putting the fan first. So hopefully fans should care in our innovation because it's all about them.
Yep, and something they can be proud of. Yeah, and you mentioned sharing as a concept as part of the thing. Where does that ethos come about? So it's a very academic thing to do, and kind of what are the boundaries of that? So, say for instance, how much would you be sharing with Real Madrid?
That's a very good point. We want to share. We want to enter, as I was mentioning at the beginning, we want to be a knowledge platform, and obviously, generating knowledge implies to collaborate with third parties. And we collaborate with different types of clubs, but we also collaborate with other stakeholders that before we were not taken into account from the club perspective. Universities, research centers, companies are part of that sharing knowledge that for us is absolutely critical. We are, one of the key messages of the hub is that we realize we cannot do everything by ourselves. In order to innovate, we have to count on third parties. And if you count on a third party, you have to give them back part of what you're doing. And this is precisely what we are doing with different stakeholders. We are collaborating, for instance, with NBA franchises. We are collaborating with NFL franchises. We are collaborating with certain leagues in the US. Obviously, the models are completely different, but at the end of the day, we can find ways of collaboration that are quite useful for us, and obviously we don't compete with them.
Yep. Are you able to give any examples of current live tangible projects?
Yes. For instance, as I was mentioning before, the collaboration with Rakuten is an obvious one, and the way we are doing things with them. But we are also talking, we are working, and it's public, we are working with Toshiba, developing prevention machines for muscle and tendon injuries. We are working with Gatorade in hydration products, and we are definitely in that space. We are acting as a lab. But probably the example, and there are others in the area of Russell. We can mention another one, which is a social network platform that is based in Silicon Valley. We cannot say by this time the name of the company, but we are helping them to just implement their products and services in Europe because they are based in the US. But probably the product in which we are most proud of is a company called Wimu. This is a company that we have contributed to develop from months ago. It's a GPS tracking company, and based on our technicians, they have co-developed the product with them. So that product nowadays is used by our first team and grassroots. We have tested that product. We have contributed to improve that product, but we are also being in the process on looking for finance for this company. We have reached an agreement with an investment fund that has financed this company. So now this company is in a position in order to improve their commercial strategy based on the financial resources we have contributed to access to and based on the knowledge that we have shared with them in order to improve the product. So these are the type of examples, and obviously in a forum like this, we are more than open to get to know specific projects. Obviously, all of them should be related to sport, working in the 5 areas that were mentioned in the video, but if that's the case, we are willing to share, we are willing to listen, we are willing to even to start to test products because we want to be part of that.
So if somebody wanted to get involved with the Innovation Hub, how should they go about it?
Please contact us through the website. You can do it either to us, but the website probably would be the best way to do it. Introduce your product or your idea or your research area, and we will analyze that.
Yeah. So you talked quite a bit there about the US market. What about other emerging markets like China?
China, definitely. The three markets in which we are focused are obviously Europe, for obvious reasons. The second is the US. Mainly, we have a key focus. You know, the club has an office in New York, but we also are focusing on the West Coast because of technology and the area that Russell leads. And obviously, there are some plans that are already being announced from the club to launch female football team in the West Coast. So leveraging on that for us, this is critical, but also China. We have a strategic agreement with a very specific partner, which is the Beijing University. And we are setting up a digital lab in-house in the university, and Russell is dealing with that as well.
I mean, it's really exciting. We were both there recently. We gave lectures to a group of students, well, a group of executives who come from the world of sports and media. It's a fantastic sounding board for us to test out ideas. It's a great talent pool to be looking at. You know, it's like I guess the Harvard of China. There's an amazing technology lab there, so we can really take advantage of them providing us another platform to enter the Chinese market, particularly around the area of fan engagement and technology and digital channels, which gives us this. I think it will give us a market lead in terms of our digital presence in China.
Yep.
And that's what we're.
So do you see this model being emulated or copied elsewhere? What will make the Barcelona lab stand out?
I think that one of our key assets is, as I was mentioning at the beginning, our lab, our capacity to test so many different products and services. 2,000 top athletes, professional athletes is a really big one. So, and it's not only a question of the athletes, it's also a question of the facilities, the venues. We are in the middle of a huge project which is called the Spy Barça, Barça Space in English. And that implies not only the renewal of the stadium and the arena surrounding the stadium, but also we want to build a new smart city model in the city of Barcelona, in a district in Barcelona, based on the Spy Barça. So there are a lot of elements of the current Barça projects that we can incorporate the mentality of innovation and research that I think that makes us unique.
Yeah. So is it a key facet of the stadium redevelopment?
Sorry?
Is it a key facet of the stadium redevelopment? How will that benefit?
Obviously, we'll benefit from many different perspectives, but obviously we are working there in energy, on sustainability issues. We are working with mobility. We are working with fan experience, of course. We are dealing with different aspects that renewal will leverage that renewal, not only just to improve the way that our members enjoy FC Barcelona, but also the way we can innovate in the sports industry.
And will there be future such forums like this? So if people want to learn, have additional learnings, is there a plan for conferences, events?
Yes, included in the platform, what we have is we have another initiative that within the hub that is called Barça Universitas. And Barça Universitas has two main topics or two main areas. The first one are congresses, and we are organizing congresses in Barcelona related to different aspects. We are organizing contents related to sports technology that we have already organized two editions. This November will be the third one. We are organizing congresses related to muscle and tendon injuries. We are organizing meetings and summits related to performance, different areas within the hub. But also, we have started to, within that knowledge platform, to launch to the market online and offline courses related to the sports industry.
Yep.
So we are working on in an online platform that is already live, in which we develop and we launch to the market short courses in different fields. But we also have partnered with key universities, both in Barcelona and in other countries, in order to develop specific programs related to law, business. In the future will be related as well to communication and other areas.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask one last question to Russell, then I'm going to open up for questions from the audience. So if the crew could maybe have mics ready for that. Barcelona is very unique as a club and has very particular values. How does this kind of sit along and complement the values of the club?
So yeah, more than a club, sat on the pillars that are part of the strategic plan. I think the digital strategy that we've got basically complements that. But I think putting innovation at the core of what we do really, I think I said earlier, it allows us to really focus on a fan-centric approach to our content and our products. And I think it just matches the sort of the humility, the passion, the belief, all of the strong values that are part of Barcelona. I think it really, I think the fact that we can learn from the industry and we accept that we in partnering with leading technology and innovation companies, that we can actually develop products with them. I think it's for me probably one of the pillars that's strongest in the Barcelona pillars is humility, and I think it's that humility and team effort are the two strong.
Yeah. So is there a vision that you're very much talking at one level, at the professional end of the game? Would you see some things that are coming out of the innovation home that reach mass market, that affect people's everyday lives?
Yeah, and obviously that's the intention. For instance, we are working with companies that develop fitness machines. Obviously, our purpose there is because we wanna have the best training machines for our athletes, and for instance, to recover from certain injuries. But obviously, if that could be the case, that those machines that are co-developed with specific companies could be launched in the future to the mass market. So yes, in our purpose, definitely we have the intention of developing products that once they have tested in the club, and once we see that those products are good enough, they could be launched to the mass market.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions? No? So we'll carry on. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sabrina Geraldino from the New Jersey Teamsters Football Club. I'd like to know, in reference to the new innovation and science techniques, are you studying or utilizing these innovations with the youth academies of Barcelona, and will you implement any of these strategies with any academies in the U.S.?
From the club perspective, we have to distinguish between two concepts. One is what we call FCB escolas, or schools, and academies. FCB schools are part of our commercial strategy, and they are not so much, although we use our methods, our training methods, they are not so linked with the professional sport. But regarding academies, of course, they are users of our technologies. They are users. The best academy and the iconic academy is La Masia, and obviously La Masia is part of this knowledge project. Because what we want to do with La Masia is that the kids that we have there, nearly 700 or more than 700, is that they benefit from all the innovations that we implement. So the answer is yes. We try to use and we try to implement all those innovations in our professional training and of course in our grassroots. That includes academies, not schools.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? One over here, please.
Good afternoon. Jeffrey Blossett from the Washington Redskins of the National Football League. Thank you very much for stopping by our stadium earlier this summer for the International Champions Cup. Wonderful experience. I'm someone who works in digital data and digital analytics, and one aspect of the Innovation Hub was technology and digital and seeing the trends. What trends are you observing from this Innovation Hub, and how do you plan to take advantage of it, say on social media, or capturing fan information on digital and making a smarter, I guess, experience for the fan, both in the stadium and out of stadium through like digital and social media?
So I think one of the areas that has been particularly hot in terms of companies that have pitched to us so far since I joined was VR. I think bringing the global fan to have a connected experience into the stadium from wherever they are in the world, being able to use analytics to actually understand what types of VR experiences are working. I think it's a real challenge at the moment to look at this emerging world and, of virtual reality and augmented reality and think, what is the fan experience that's going to define that experience? Because we know it is going to happen, and we know that there's going to be something which is going to be huge. And I think one of the opportunities is through the Innovation Hub, is to be able to partner with the leading augmented reality and virtual reality companies to be able to do that. I think the other core technology which is becoming hugely important to us in terms of our understanding of the audience is AI, and using machine learning to be able to drive our automation of products, our understanding of the types of future products that fans want, and being able to predict that cycle. So I think, it's for me, the Innovation Hub is like it's the sort of perfect vehicle to do the sort of future gazing stuff that we want to do. Obviously, we've got the day-to-day with all of our social media channels. We've got 300 million digital fans to talk to. So I think the way I like to think about innovation is maybe sort of a sort of Google type of view of the world of innovation, which is trying to sort of test and launch into beta, constantly iterating and looking at the data to be able to drive that future product development is really how we work.
Thank you very much.
Any additional questions? No. So if we were here in 3 years' time, what would you want to say that you've achieved through the Innovation Hub?
I would love to have some companies already being incubated and developed in-house. I would love to have some products launched to the market with co-developed, co-tested. And obviously, and mainly, what I would like to have is our athletes and our managers and staff using products that we have contributed to co-develop. That for us will be definitely a very sustainable project, and we'll hope that project will be in the long run.
And for you, Russell, how might it have helped you further your digital strategy?
I think it gives us an opportunity to work with third parties who are developing leading edge, brilliant technology in a way which maybe previously was, you'd probably just have to think about everything on a purely commercial basis. I think this allows us to become to have essentially an R&D function as well, and to do it in a way which isn't necessarily always focused on the bottom line this year, because that's important. But we can do that with, we're sort of essentially going to be spinning off ideas into the commercial drivers. But it just gives us this way of, I think, looking at that next 2 to 5 years rather than the current season.
Yep. And around the core principles sharing, how will you be working with organizations around the world?
We are very open. We are very transparent. What we want to do it's definitely that we want to be part of that ecosystem. So, for instance, this summer we were working and we had meetings and we start projects with the MIT and Georgetown University in the U.S., leveraging the first team tour in the U.S. And we are also working with Stanford teachers. And we are developing specific research areas in which we can collaborate, and we are very open to that. And I remember when we were in the MIT, a couple of teachers that just came up with a couple of research projects that were involved, and now we are working together, because for us this is part of the openness of the whole initiative. So and obviously, and we have mentioned we are revenue driven as well, and in that side, we want to be very close to companies that we would like to share their products, their knowledge with us, and based on that, going together.
Yeah, okay. And any final words? We've got about, the clock is counting down. Right.
That's a lot of pressure then.
Correct. So if people want to get involved.
Final words will be probably that we are here we're here as a project to stay. We want to be perceived as a key research innovation player in the sports industry and related industries. Transversality of sport is absolutely critical, so we are fully aware of all the industries that are very close to sport. And based on that, we would love to get access and get a relationship with, as I've mentioned, universities, research centers, but also startups, new projects, and corporations that would like to develop their products and services with us.
Perfect, okay, thank you. So please don't go anywhere. I'm going to hand over to Hayley, and we'll be replaced with people to talk about branding and how to build brands. Thank you.